Is it possible that one of the world's oldest professions is also one of the most misunderstood and stigmatized? Today, we delve into the world of prostitution in India. Often shrouded in a cloak of taboo and judgment, prostitution is a topic that many are hesitant to discuss openly. Yet it is a reality that permeates every corner of the globe and has done so for millennia. Prostitution, the exchange of sexual services for money or goods, is frequently referred to as the world's oldest profession. Despite its universal presence, the general perception of this profession is often tainted by preconceived notions and stereotypes. In India, the narrative is no different. Prostitution is a topic that is both relevant and controversial. It's an industry that exists in the shadows, often overlooked and misunderstood. Yet it's a reality for countless individuals across the nation, and it affects society in more ways than one might initially consider. Prostitution in India is a complex issue, interwoven with societal norms, legal ambiguities, and the struggle for human rights. It carries a heavy stigma, and those involved in this profession are often marginalized, their voices silenced by societal judgment. But why is it that an age-old profession, a reality for so many, is met with such disdain and prejudice? And how has this profession evolved in India over the years? These are some of the questions we will explore as we delve deeper into this topic. In India, the existence of prostitution is not just a testament to the country's socio-economic divide, but also a reflection of deeply ingrained gender disparities. It's a profession that has survived the test of time, adapting to societal changes, yet its status within society remains largely unchanged, shrouded in secrecy and stigma. As we journey into this hidden reality, we will look beyond the stereotypes and preconceived notions, offering a glimpse into the lives of those involved in this profession, their struggles, and their stories. We aim to shed light on the complexities of this issue, the societal attitudes that fuel it, and its impact on the individuals involved and society at large. As we peel back the layers, we'll uncover the facts and figures about prostitution in India. Prostitution, a hush-hush topic, has some staggering figures associated with it in India. The shadows of silence and stigma cloak a reality that is far too large to be ignored. Let's pull back the veil and peek into the world that exists, albeit ignored. In India, it is estimated that there are around 3 million sex workers. Yes, you heard it right, 3 million. To put that in perspective, that's roughly the population of Jamaica or Armenia. A staggering number, isn't it? Now let's delve a little deeper. An estimated 40% of these sex workers are minors, underage girls who should be in schools playing, dreaming, and living their childhood. Instead, they're thrust into a life that is anything but innocent. 40%, that's like every second person you meet on a busy city street being a child laborer. It's a heart-wrenching reality, isn't it? The landscape of this silent industry is dotted with around 100 red light districts. From the infamous lanes of Sonagachi in Kolkata to the bustling streets of Kamathipura in Mumbai, these areas are a stark reminder of an unnerving reality. 100 red light districts, each with its own tales of despair and survival. Now let's discuss money. Prostitution is a major revenue generator with an estimated annual turnover of over $8 billion. Yes, billion with a B. That's more than the GDP of some small countries. It's a lucrative industry, but one that thrives on exploitation and human misery. These numbers paint a grim picture, but they're just the tip of the iceberg. They don't account for the countless women and girls who are trafficked, exploited, and forced into this life, their stories untold, their voices unheard. The numbers don't tell us about the struggles, the pain, the dreams shattered. It's a world that exists in the shadows, its reality hidden behind a veil of silence and shame. Prostitution in India sits in a complex legal gray area. What does the law actually say? Let's dive into it. The main piece of legislation regulating prostitution in India is the Immoral Traffic Prevention Act of 1956. This act was enacted with the aim to combat trafficking and sexual exploitation for commercial purposes. The act is unique in its approach, as it does not outright criminalize prostitution. Instead, it penalizes activities related to prostitution. It's a fine line, but an important one to understand. The law states that a sex worker cannot sell their services in public places, cannot cause a public nuisance, and cannot have a customer who is below the age of 18. The Immoral Traffic Prevention Act also penalizes those who profit off the earnings of a sex worker, such as a pimp or a brothel owner. It's clear that the law is aimed at curbing trafficking and exploitation, rather than targeting the sex workers themselves. However, the law does not provide an alternative means of livelihood for sex workers or a clear path for those who may wish to exit the profession. This omission has significant implications, as it leaves sex workers vulnerable to exploitation with little legal recourse. Moreover, the law fails to address the societal stigma attached to sex work, which often leads to marginalization and discrimination against those in the profession. Another critical point of contention is the law's silence on voluntary sex work. It does not recognize the right of an individual to choose sex work, thereby blurring the line between voluntary and coerced prostitution. In essence, while the Immoral Traffic Prevention Act aims to protect individuals from exploitation, it also creates a legal vacuum where sex workers can be victimized without adequate protection from the law. This legal ambiguity often leads to exploitation and lack of protection for those involved in this profession. Behind these statistics are real people with real stories. What drives them into this profession? To understand the gravity of the situation, we must first delve into the root causes. Let's begin with poverty. It's no secret that India is home to a significant portion of the world's impoverished population. For many, the struggle to put food on the table overshadows all other concerns. The financial desperation often leaves individuals with no choice but to sell their bodies for survival. Then we have illiteracy, a silent perpetrator. The lack of education limits job prospects, leaving many vulnerable to exploitation. Without the ability to read, write, or perform basic arithmetic, options become scarce, and prostitution can seem like the only way out. Another key factor is human trafficking. Every year, thousands of men, women, and children are trafficked for sexual exploitation. They're often lured with false promises of lucrative jobs or manipulated by people they trust. Once ensnared, escape becomes a daunting, if not impossible, task. Societal pressures also play a significant role. In some communities, cultural norms and traditions force individuals into the sex trade. Often, these are the same societies that stigmatize and ostracize them for their involvement in the profession. Lastly, the lack of viable employment opportunities cannot be overlooked. With India's population exceeding 1 billion, the competition for jobs is fierce. Those who lack the required skills or qualifications are left to fend for themselves in an unforgiving job market. Stigma associated with the profession further compounds these issues. It not only hampers efforts to leave the profession, but also discourages individuals from seeking help. The fear of being ostracized by society is a powerful deterrent that keeps many trapped in this cycle. So when we talk about prostitution in India, we're not just talking about a profession, we're talking about a complex web of social issues. These underlying issues are deeply intertwined, creating a cycle that's hard to break. These are not just numbers, but lives intertwined with complex social issues. Given this complex scenario, what can be the way forward? In seeking solutions, we must address various aspects of the issue. Education, for instance, plays a pivotal role. By empowering individuals with knowledge, we can open doors to alternative livelihoods, reducing the allure of the sex trade for those who feel they have no other options. Rehabilitation programs are also vital. Providing psychological and emotional support, as well as vocational training, can help those who wish to exit the industry do so successfully. These programs need to be comprehensive, addressing not only the immediate needs of individuals, but also preparing them for a future beyond the confines of their past. Legal reform is another critical component. Current laws are ambiguous, often causing more harm than good. A clearer, more compassionate legal framework can protect individuals in the sex trade from exploitation and abuse, while also ensuring that those who wish to leave can do so without fear of retribution or stigma. But laws and programs are only as effective as the society that implements them. Therefore, societal change is necessary. We must challenge our prejudices, discard our stereotypes, and start seeing individuals in the sex trade as fellow human beings deserving of respect and dignity. Non-governmental organizations have already begun this work, providing support, advocacy, and resources. Yet their efforts need to be complemented by robust government initiatives. From policy changes to funding for rehabilitation programs, the government's role is indispensable in tackling this issue. The path forward is not easy. It requires commitment, empathy, and above all, patience. It involves confronting uncomfortable truths about our society and ourselves. But remember, every effort counts. Every life improved is a victory. Change may be slow, but with concerted efforts, a better future for these individuals is not beyond reach. After all, we're not just talking about statistics or abstract concepts. We're talking about people, about lives that can be transformed, about potential that can be unlocked. And isn't that worth fighting for?